of them. You're wasting all your time and money on models. Paint what you have.
This show on the road.
Recording. All right. Got your fingers ready?
Fuck, I don't know.
No, that worked. Actually, no, do the other way. Other hand.
Wait.
Six
five,
in
no.
the other.
5, 6,
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the blooper.
That'll be a bump your head when you come up.
Fuck off. All right.
Idiot. I'm ready.
I'm twisting the mustache a little bit.
Yeah, that'll work.
It is. Look.
That's great. Just
That
what
cool?
you need. Raleigh Fingers. You don't even know who Raleigh Fingers is.
I've heard the name. Was he with the Abbott and Costellos? Or with the Marx Brothers?
Raleigh Fingers?
Yeah. What's that guy?
No, he was a fucking Major League Baseball pitcher in the 1970s and early 80s. You fucking idiot. Okay. Was he with the Marx Brothers? I sure hope you're recording this because I can't wait to see how many people can see what a big moron you are.
What team did he play for? Raleigh Fingers is a baseball player?
He played for the early 70s Oakland A's. Played for the Milwaukee
Wait,
Brewers.
is it Raleigh, like Raleigh, North Carolina?
Rollie,
Oh.
Raleigh. You're a moron.
I don't watch sports ball. It's not my fault.
You watch baseball.
Once in a while, yeah, but not. I don't know baseball.
That's for sure.
No, I don't. I know the White
You couldn't
Sox
spell
suck.
baseball if I spotted you baseball. Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Model Club TV, episode 64. Did you get it right? What?
I don't know.
All right,
Who
yeah,
cares?
whatever.
Will you still need me?
As
Will you
always,
still feed me?
as most of the time, my co-host, lovely co-host, Scott Johansson.
Did you know that song I was just singing?
I didn't hear.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
What is that?
A fucking Beatles song, you moron,
Oh.
from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. Okay.
He probably just got us like flagged for copyright or something singing that.
You should be flagged for stupidity. Okay.
Now you sound like my mom.
No,
Like,
because
what is
none of
happening
that
here?
death metal
We're 4
bullshit
minutes
you
in.
listen to would even be around if it wasn't for Sgt. Pepper's.
That
All
is
right?
true. I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Let's move on.
I'm
to
Jason
some
Walker, the host,
useless talk.
and my co-host. So for
Let's
most
get
people,
this over with.
yeah, I was gonna say. So people who like we think we just started. No, we've been at it for an hour with our lovely interview with Vlad Petnicki. Went really well. It was pretty fun. So
Super nice guy.
yeah, super nice guy. Stay
Can't
tuned
wait to
for
meet
that.
him.
We're gonna do more of these kind of modeler spotlights as we go. We've done them in the past. We haven't done one in a while, so I thought it was time to take care of that. Just a heads up, it's a short month, so we're gonna be doing this again really quick. And the next episode, our guest, I'm not gonna give it away. It's a well-known sculptor, and it will be making his second appearance on the show. So be ready for that at the end of the month. Little teaser.
Yeah. He better be ready by the end of the month, too, or the beginning of the month.
And we were going to have Terry on this month, but he had to push some things back. So Terry Webb is coming as well for another.
Terry's in a wheelchair now.
Pretty much.
I could say he don't watch. What do I care?
Yeah, he doesn't watch. Thoughts and prayers for Terry Webb.
Oh, yeah.
He hates it. How are you, Scott? How's things?
Great. I'm great. I want to give a shout out. I don't know if you want to put this here or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. To our friend Phil Kupka.
Yep.
Who is just going to say struggling right now, having a tough time. Jason's going to put a link to a website that Phil's wife, Diane, updates when she can with Phil's condition and what's going on, so she doesn't have to make 100 calls or whatever.
Right.
She did call me and told me we could put this up so that people could see what's going on. So for those of you asking,
It's kind of like
Whatever you
just
wanna-
like a daily, like a blog of like what
Yeah.
Phil's going through and like his treatment and things. So if you're interested, hop on over there to see what's going on. But it's got, I don't know what, like it's,
Yeah,
He's-
right now he's struggling. Let's
Yeah.
just leave it at that, and we'll see where it's going from there.
yeah.
So-
So again, keep filling your thoughts. We missed that guy. I missed the emails. Hang in there, buddy. It's tough road. So check out the link below if you're interested. I think if there is some sort of, we could edit this out. Is there some sort of donation thing anywhere yet? or anything
Not
for stuff?
yet. If you would like to donate, I can get you an address. I think in the one post she said one of the things that's really helped because of the time she's had to spend taking care of my like DoorDash gift cards and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they
that's what
really
we've done for
used.
people on chemo, like
So,
sending food cards and stuff.
And then maybe I think that was the main one. I think she mentioned how helpful that was.
Okay,
And
so DoorDash, if you're
DoorDash gift
okay.
cards, and if you need the address, email one of us and we'll get it to you.
And maybe we'll work something out, and we'll talk off the air about it, and maybe work something out like a group kind of
Mhm.
like package over that way. So, all right, we'll get that kind of tough news out of the way and kind of move forward. Email, voicemail, Discord. I didn't forget the Discord part this time. So if you want to get a hold of us, send us an email. It is, I have to click over here like always. It is modelclubtv@gmail.com. Send us an email. Emails have been kind of light recently. We've got some good ones, got some stuff, but not coming as much as they used to. So I don't have to read as much. So that's kind of cool. So send us a
thank
voice.
God. Yeah.
I know.
We want
then
the
if you-
Rhedosaurus to get mad.
Oh God, why? Why must you continue? And then the voicemail for the show is 708-816-4299. These are much better. As long as you keep it to 30 seconds, it's much better than listening to me try and read something. 708-816-4299. That's the voicemail. There is a Discord. All of that information is below. And we have our Teespring and Redbubble shops, which I'm going to be updating here shortly, just kind of run out of time. The last time the episode went live 2 weeks ago, we're recording, what's today? The 9th of February. Holy crap, this year's going fast. I got sick that day, and I'm still not, you can kind of hear it. I have not been well for the last week and a half. So
I thought it was because you had ball sucktopia, but it's
I've heard that I've had ball sucktopia. Not quite sure the symptoms of that or the reason, but that's what I have apparently. So
long story, inside joke, and if that person's watching,
GFY.
we sure appreciate your kind words.
GFY.
So,
that's what
yeah.
I'll say. Anyway, like and subscribe to the show. Please, please, please. We're getting
Discord, too. Discord.
Yep, Discord.
Saturday nights we seem to get on, and we have gone late. I think I was up till 2:30 again
really?
this week.
I will be out of town this weekend. So
Brian Clark usually is on for about 10 minutes, and he has to go to bed by 8 o'clock because
I think because you show up and then he leaves because he's there for about
he
an
does
hour.
leave because he's afraid of me.
A lot of people are afraid of you.
I know.
See any movies? I'll take
No.
that. No. Yeah, me. Well, I did watch one movie. Model and Movie episode 2 is coming after I'm done editing this. No, you did watch something. Last of Us.
Was that a movie or a show?
TV show. That counts.
Did
And no
nothing for me.
spoilers, please. I am currently playing The Last of Us on PlayStation. So before I watch the show. So
And I want to be clear. I didn't really watch it. I more or less listened to some of it, but I don't know. More zombie apocalypse bullshit to me, but it's.
I've also been playing the Starship Troopers game, which is an old old style strategy game, and I'm really liking that. But I haven't been able to play games for a while.
You ever hear the song Starship Trooper?
Nope.
Huh.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Big kudos to the first person that could tell us without looking it up who did the song Starship Trooper.
All right, giveaway.
I'm ready.
From
I
the
got a
Jaeger
crack,
Army.
so
Let's do
get
that
this done with.
Oh my god.
No, I don't. I'm just kidding.
God. Bring it back. All right, we have our giveaway. Sorry, I had to readjust Windows while Scott and we were talking
Just thinking when you said a ripped ass.
All right. So we have our giveaway from the Jaeger Army. Scott, what can people win this episode? And the code word was?
The code word was, I'm a fiddler on the roof. Sneak peek.
There it is. Wait, let me pull you up.
The fiddler.
There you go. Oh, nice.
Latest addition to the Jaeger Army. And hold on now. I'm going to have to bust some ass on this. Oh, no. Okay.
What?
Maybe not.
You're going to bust ass.
Gonna bust ass. Hold on. Let's see if I can bust Jaeger's ass, but I don't think I can. I think he did it. Hold on.
You pull out a magnifying glass? What?
Well, yeah, because
What are you doing?
I think this is the first one. Gonna have to ask Paul. Paul, you gotta answer this. Is this the first one that doesn't have the YA logo, the Jaeger Army logo on it somewhere?
Oh.
Or the little YA.
Uh-oh.
So, well,
All right.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll Sharpie on the bottom for whoever wins. Okay.
All right, that'll work. All right, so we are gonna. I've pulled the names. I'm gonna shuffle the names like a bunch of times. If I forgot,
See what I did to Bill Wilson when he wrote "I'm a fiddler on the roof," and I go, "You sure are."
I did see that. Spinning. And
Here
our
we
winner
go.
is dun dun dun. John Diaz is the winner of the Fiddler on the Roof. All right, congratulations, John Diaz. Well done, sir.
I
Send
spoke
that out
to
to
John recently about coming on, and John's a long time
That'd be cool.
hobby guy. As a matter of fact, I met John at my second Wonderfest, so that was what 20, however many years ago.
97, 98,
No, 96.
96. Yeah, second
Yeah.
one was 96. Our
So
first was 95.
So
So,
what?
yeah.
27 years ago.
Yeah, look at that. Cool.
And John Diaz was the first guy that I ever trusted. And like I walked out there going, man, I hope I didn't screw up here. But he had a Man-Thing kit that Mark Van Tine had sculpted called the Bayou Beast at the time. And I just really liked it, you know, at the time.
I remember that kit. I told you.
And what's funny is how inexpensive it was. I think it was like $60, which is unheard of now. Okay. But John was out of stock. So he said, well, give me the money. I'll send it to you. And I'm sitting there going, and I don't even know this guy, but like, I really want this. So I gave him the money. And of course, he sent it to me. And I had it in my collection for years. And I recently, in the last few years, I actually gave mine away to a guy that's a big Man-Thing fan, Rob Madison, our friend Rob Madison.
Nice.
And I would have never gave it away. However,
Rob was blackmailing you
Rob was blackmailing me. He has pictures of me with bad things.
with the dog.
With my man thing. And no, so Rob, I gave that to Rob because he's always a fan of the Man-Thing. And I probably would have never gave that kid up except for Mark later sculpted one for Bowen Designs. And I do have the Bowen Design statue of the Man-Thing that Mark sculpted. Which
I like the pose on that one where his arm is
also.
it's
and the
kit.
posture and everything. The Man-Thing's like Mark's baby, I think. So we'll talk.
No, wait, who? What? No,
yeah. But we'll talk more about that someday. Yeah. But,
well, cool. I think my little the first time I ever gave money to someone with the promise of them shipping it was Charlie McGrady.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it didn't go well. It took a really long time. Really long time. No, I did get it, but it was a very long time. It was the Flea Rider that he produced, and because he would show up at Wonderfest with nothing. You'd have to pay him, and then he would send it to you, and it took a long time to get.
Yeah, he had a lot of logs in the fire at that point in time too.
Yep, he did. So cool. All right, next time's giveaway. Yep, John Diaz won. Where did my pen go? There it is. All right, the next giveaway, next episode. I have an email to read. This is from Ron Joseph. fan of the show, fellow modeler, always contributing, always commenting, entering the contest. Hello, Jason and Scott. Big fan of the show. And after you stated that the giveaway vault was empty, I wanted to do something for the Model Club TV community. I went through my stash, you can call it a hoard if you want, of kits, and I have picked some out for you to do whatever you guys see fit with them. Thank you for everything that you guys do, and keep on doing what you're doing. So, thank you, Ron.
There's a lot of do. There's a lot of do.
Yeah. So thank you, Ron. And
Thanks, Ron.
I haven't opened the box yet, so I don't know what he sent. So I thought it would be cool to kind of open this live, and then we'll figure out what to do.
Like if a bunch of bugs crawled out of there, that'd be awesome.
So, oh wait, I didn't show his address, did I? No.
Well, I don't know.
But it has some cool. There's a little Grogu sticker on there. So opening. Dun dun dun. Watch me drop it and break it. Like, what was the last thing I dropped, Scott?
Funny you should mention that, because right here, I figure I would show you what the Cyclops box looks like undamaged.
I think I have something wrong with my hands. Maybe I'm like pre-MS or something.
This is, by the way, I know you covered this, and
dude, it's a great box, dude.
This is really a nice box.
I love it.
But it's really a nice kit.
Yeah, it is a nice kit. But to sound like a nerd, that's a great box.
But, it's just a good presentation, but these guys are doing good stuff.
All right, he sent me a letter. I'll read that. I think that's just to me, though, so I'm not going to. All right, here's the box. Open. Ooh. Satan's Crate. That's right.
That's a fun model, actually.
Yeah,
I have
Satan's
one of those.
Crate from Kit Builders. Look at that. Number 2,296 out of 2,500. It's a limited edition.
What did you just say?
What? 2,296 out of 2,500.
I thought you said 2,900 out of...
You're so quick to judge me. You're so quick.
No, I asked. I didn't judge. I asked.
You were about
first.
to jump all over me like a...
Oh, I was.
Yeah. All right, something in a bag. Something in a bag. Ooh, what is this?
No, you should have dropped it.
Yeah, I didn't drop anything. An arm. I have an arm. Oh, it's a little Vampirella.
Look at that.
With a gravestone base. Tombstone. Sits on there with the arm. I don't want to break this, so I put it right back in and not dropping it. All right. And there is, I think, one more kit.
One more.
One more, I think.
One more kit for Ronnie. Right. One more kit.
Thank you. All right. Yep. Monsters of the Movies, The Wolfman. All right.
Yep, and I think that's a resin repop of that.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Resin repop of that. Could we get in trouble for this?
I don't have a problem with Aurora stuff being done. I know there's those that do and why, but I don't. So
we're still going to give it away. We're not selling.
We're going to give it away.
We're not selling. So awesome. All right. What do people do? We have 3 kits to give away.
Well, do we want to give away all 3? We're going to do one.
We'll do 3. We'll pull 3 names.
Okay.
So if you're interested in any of these, let's put thank you, Ron, in the comments for this episode.
No, how about thank you? Well, do we want to do specific or do we want to just decide who gets what?
No, let's do specific.
Okay.
Let's let them pick.
So how about thank you, Vampy Ron? Thank you, Satan Ron. And thank you, Wolfman Ron. How about that? All right.
That's how we do it. All right.
And let's just so you know, Ron has no known affiliation with Satan or anything like that.
Well, we don't know that. Maybe he does.
Don't get crazy. All the cards and letters go to Jason's. Whatever. So yeah,
seriously, thank you, Mr. Ron. It's I love when people do that, give back to the community and help us out a bit too. So awesome. I also have, I was looking through my stuff. I have 2 of the paper models left from Dan Cherney. and I'm going to put
Mhm.
those randomly into some of the boxes with these giveaways. So I think I have 2 left. So I don't
You
know
know what
who's
you
going
should
to get
start doing?
them. What should I start doing? Well, I should start doing a lot, actually.
You're gonna like this.
Oh, am I?
Start putting a Cult TV Man sticker in each box because we have a stack of them now.
You're right. I got one right here. I think I will.
So,
All right. Awesome.
are you still putting Model Club stickers in there, you cheap bastard?
Yeah.
or what?
Yes, I am. When I give something
Okay.
away, I put it in. Cheap bastard. What are you talking about? All
Whatever.
right. News and reviews.
Doot, 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 doot.
All right. First, you know what? I'll save that for an email.
I thought you were going to read Ron's letter.
I did.
No, the one that was in the box.
No, that one I'm not going to read.
Oh, why does he make fun of your beard? Or your Raleigh Fingers mustache?
Oh, I'll read it. Okay. I didn't know what I wanted to make sure it was appropriate. Show. This was from from inside the box from Ron. Hey Jason, here are those kits I emailed you about. Only he writes as good as I do. Printing wise. Only thing I think in return is that whoever wins them has to underline 3 times, has to post them, send a photo of the finished model to Model Club TV. My compressor is leaking. Model Club TV so it can be shown on a future episode. I agree. You have to paint these at some point and send a picture.
Well, that leaves me out of the contest.
Yeah, you're out. So if you're not planning on building or painting, it could take you a year. That's fine.
Compressor my ass. You probably had these for dinner.
Oh, man. No, I'm on a White Castle hiatus.
Sabbatical?
I've been banned.
For how long?
It's been 3 years.
You're due.
And I was a very big White Castle person. Like,
You know what we'll do? We'll get you really good and fucked up at Wonderfest, and then you'll want them.
I don't.
Okay.
Is there a White Castle in Louisville?
Oh yeah.
I have one 15 feet from my house. Oh no, it's around the corner. It's a 1 minute car ride.
I was gonna say it's not 15 feet from your house.
I was gonna say 15 minutes, but it's not. It's a minute drive from my house.
Yeah, the last guy that ate White Castle there was your neighbor across the street. We know what happened.
Oh man, dude. Okay, can I talk about that? Is it legally? Can I talk about that?
Well, sure.
We're kind of. This is news. Everyone, it kind of fits into us. They found the guy that lives across the street dead in his house. And he was a truck driver. He's probably my age. We don't know what happened. This was yesterday. So it's not like, man. And I thought, like, if I lived alone, no one would know unless I, like, work would call. But if it's summertime.
Well, they know when Model Club TV did.
They would know by the 15th or the 30th if there was no
Model
episode
Club
posted.
TV, just so everyone knows, is if something happens, Jason is dead because I have none of the passwords.
It's over.
Okay.
It's not even passwords. You don't have the work ethic to put this show on twice a month.
I don't even have the passwords to answer the emails. You know, I'm nothing.
Yeah, rightfully so. So yeah, I mean, make some. I don't know. It kind of
your dead carcass. I swear to God, I will.
Like, take care of. Like, have some sort of. I don't know. If you live alone, get a hold of someone to call you once a day, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe not once a day, but once every couple days.
A couple days.
You know, check in with someone once every couple days.
But this guy was a real, like, loner. Like, didn't talk to any of us. We didn't know when he was home. Didn't know when he was around. Like, let his grass go really long sometimes. So no one knew to check on him. And we're just like, oh boy. Jamie left. I left for work, and then Jamie left, and a cop was trying to get over the fence to try and get in the house. She's like, "What's going on?" Anyway, news and reviews. Make the dudes again.
I did already.
Show's going to shit. So from Paul Gill and Gillman Productions.
What are we waiting for?
Push the button. Paul Gill and Gillman Productions. We have a Bigfoot. And it is sculpted by... Wait, no. Scott, ask me who it's sculpted by.
What, do you know?
I do know.
Who sculpted it?
Michael White sculpted this Patterson Bigfoot. So here we have the quarter scale bust. Really nice piece. Again, we showed it last week, but he has this really cool. It's called the Top Secret Black Files. Is the new line, and I'm showing this here because it's the first in the series. And then he sent us a sneak preview of the next in the series, which is an alien, a simple little gray. And I'm going to go ahead and put the video here, edit it in. Also sculpted by Michael White. And I really like this alien because and I even told Paul, aliens like this, even though technically they're supposed to be your grays, you don't have to go that route. And you could do some really cool stuff with paint schemes. So this is a painter's delight, I think, when it comes out. If you really want to try something cool and do some great patterns and stippling or blending and do some really cool stuff with just a simple alien model. So the Top Secret Black File kits, we have Patty, the Patterson Bigfoot, and next up is the alien. Your great alien. He'll probably have some really cool name for it. Yep.
You know, I want to thank Paul because of his Bigfoot obsession. Okay. And discussions him and I have had. Guess what's in my algorithms now? Okay.
Bigfoot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sister Wives is gone. Now I got Bigfoot.
Awesome. He added me to some Facebook Bigfoot group. And
he probably added me too, bastard.
Dude, it's awesome because some of the pictures are so ridiculous that it's funny to look at. And other ones are like, oh, okay, what is that? All right, up next. From the Thing series, we have Blair. So sneak peek. I'm not sure he's shared this yet, but we have Blair. Scott, ask me who sculpted this.
I know who sculpted this.
But no, you could still ask me because I know too.
Oh, do you know who sculpted this?
This is a Jeff Yeager sculpt.
Wow. Look at you.
And we have Blair.
This thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, I've never seen the movie.
Okay.
So we're going to start with that. But that whole hand in that guy's mouth stretching out. I mean, just look at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really well. Do you know who the guy with the hand guy is? The actor?
I do not. No.
It's Wilford Brimley.
The big one.
Yeah.
The guy doing it.
Yep. Diabetes.
Diabetes him.
So no, another great sculpt, and it's going to fit right in very well with the other ones. And this is such a cool line, and I think it's got to be one of his best sellers. This line of kits because I see so many of them out there, and I love.
Oh yeah, and he gets a list. Yeah, I mean right away for these.
So get ready. I'm not sure when it's coming, but it is coming. So I love the expression on on Blair's face on Wilford Brimley, and even in the movie, it's creepy like that. I think Jeff captured that well, and he captured what happened in the movie really well. So kudos again to both Paul Gill and Jeff Yeager. Some really cool stuff. We have another sneak peek. I think Paul showed this. Did he show this online?
Well, if not, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but I think he gave it to me to show. So
I keep telling him if you want the information to be accurate,
no, it's all accurate.
Send it to me. Okay.
Shut up. All right. We have the first in the Monster Squad series of busts, The Mummy. Scott, have you seen the Monster Squad?
No.
Oh my God. Really?
No, but I'm aware of it.
I'm aware of a lot of things. That doesn't mean anything.
You know who Raleigh Fingers was?
Well, yes. This is great. It looks just like this is a great sculpt.
This is a great sculpt by
Mark Van Tine.
There you go. That's beautiful.
Look at that. So I've got my information down pat today. So no, it looks just like the mummy in the movie, which is one of the better mummies, I think, in movie history. It's one of the really good, creepy, it's what a mummy would look like. And on the Discord, if you were on the Discord on Saturday, you would have got, I think it was on, he showed us before you got there. But we were talking about.
Yeah, he was gone by the time I got there.
So Mark came on and we were talking about the base that he's working on for this, and we were kind of walking him through, and we were bouncing ideas back and forth for the base for this piece. So hey, you never know. On Discord, you might get to participate in bringing a kid to life. So great piece. I'm really looking forward to all of these because I love those monster designs are great. Monster Squad's awesome. So. Paul Gill, reach out. Links, everything's going to be down below for Paul Gill's information. Up next from CG Blade Pseudoverse Creations. I think he's going to have a special going for this with a promo code maybe when we're going. If not, I take that back. But he had emailed me saying when the show comes out that there will be a little sale on this kit. And I'm not sure where the original stuff came from because, again, that wasn't sent. It looks almost like a We Make Monsters kit coming out. But this is Pearl from the movie Pearl, which is a prequel to another movie. And I have not seen it, so I can't say anything about it right now. But it's a lady feeding stuff to an alligator. And
I like the base.
Yeah, the base is cool. There's a lot of really cool details in this. So if you are interested in this, he's going to have prints available. I'm guessing there might be a couple different sizes, but I'm not sure. But CG usually does over on his Etsy site. So the link is there down below again to head over to Pseudoverse Creations on Etsy to pick up the Pearl kit. It's a great little diorama. And you get some clear resin to play with.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, some cool stuff going on there. I think she feeds people to this alligator in the movie.
Well, that looks like a goose to me, but I could be wrong.
I know, but this is a goose. But I think in the movie because I saw a still picture, which I will put up here, of someone in a wheelchair being fed to the alligator. So, good times. Awesome. Check out CG Blade, Pseudoverse Creations. Man. Tons of other prints available.
Now I know what I'm going to do with my Mark Worthling head.
Feed it to the alligator?
Yeah, put it on this pitchfork and yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we
still got to do that. By the way, that idea has not gone away.
We're still
Wait,
tell the idea for new listeners. Tell people the idea.
Yeah, so in Mark's last box art tribute, there was a Mark Worthling head. And we want to have a contest who can do the coolest thing with the Mark Worthling head. Now, I know he's got some extras cast up. I guess what we need to do is start gauging some interest to see how many we need. And we'll come up with a good prize for that. So if you're serious about this, shoot us an email.
We need to gauge some interest.
And so we can gauge interest if it's worth doing. And we'll have a little contest. And not necessarily going to be about your paint. It's not necessarily going to be about your build. It's just going to be about, well, actually, I don't know, because we're going to let Shanna and Mark.
They have to pick. They're the judges.
Judge it. Yeah.
Real quick before I forget, because I don't want to mess this up. Buttons. The Pseudoverse Creations button. So there it is. Find them over on Etsy.
CG's got a button now?
Yeah, he's had one for a while. I just keep forgetting
to push
the button.
Special.
And then Pestilence Labs has a button as well, which we were just talking about. Head over to Facebook to find their group as well. So, who else do I need to hit? Oh, it's Button Fest 99. We talked about the Jaeger Army. Here's the Jaeger Army button.
Yeah. Great. Maybe we should have done that while we were talking about it.
Yeah, I should have. But, it's hard to produce and host.
Right, do these next folks have a button?
Stan Arts do not have a button. I'll make a fake one right there. I should get a Stan Arts one. All right, Stan Arts. We've showed this before. But I think it's now selling on Etsy and StanArts.com. I don't think it was available yet the last time we talked about it. I think it was just announced. But it is now available. And this is the Elsa Lancaster. Lanchester. Did I say Lancaster? Lanchester Resin Garage Kit. Quarter scale.
Moron day, I can tell you that right now.
Dude, I'm sick. It's been a week.
Every time you got an excuse. Why can't you just say I'm a dummy and be done with it?
I am a dummy sometimes.
Okay.
This is not the time. Beautiful kit. There's a picture I'm going to put up here. So you get an idea of scale. It's sitting next to an orange. It's huge. And I just read also on their site that it is going to come with a little mirror as well to go in her hand. An actual mirror that they found. So that'll be part of the kit.
This has come from a still. Maybe we should try to find the still and put it up there. But
if you can find
an actual photograph of this. So.
But for those of you, height 15.5 inches, width 7.5, depth 8.5. Nice chunk of resin. Beautiful kit.
These are just nice people too.
Yep.
Just so everyone knows, these are just nice people too.
Yeah, nice people. Very nice people. They deal with me.
But this is really nice.
And they're nice to me. I'm
still kicking this around. I may still get one of these. So
yeah. But for you monster fans, this is need to go there. All right, from Adam Chet, and I think I said it wrong again. I keep forgetting how he told me it is Moron Week. I'll agree. From Monstrous Masterpieces, we have Scott
Cousin Erie.
To go along with Uncle
Creepy.
Another wall hanger, really cool, like kind of stylized, cartoony look to it, but great stuff again from Monstrous Masterpieces. Check them out over on Facebook. You know what? We need to get the button for them because we show them quite a bit as well. Here's a painted, CG painted version of it, of what it would look like. And am I boring you?
Every day. You know what? I yawn sometimes just looking at your name on my phone.
Yeah.
Stop with your little too, like you're intimidating someone. Hey, I can twitch my pen. Who cares? All right, go ahead.
So, Monstrous Masterpieces, Cousin Erie.
This guy does good work.
Yeah,
I mean, really cool man, he pumps them out too.
He does. And then from your buddy and my buddy.
Oh, now he's your buddy?
He's always been my buddy, but he's more.
Yeah, how many of his STLs do you own?
3.
Really?
2.
What'd you buy?
1. The Herculoids counts as how many?
1.
All right. Last time we had this fuzzy version. We now have the actual picture of the Woody Woodpecker kit. Which I used to watch Woody Woodpecker a lot, but I don't remember this horse.
Oh, it could have been from a
single,
yeah, it could have been from a cartoon or whatever. Okay. So
I'll have to go back. Woody looks high. He looks totally big.
So
it's like, hey, I'm gonna play.
And for those of you that have ever bought any of this gentleman's stuff, the engineering that goes into this.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the parts breakdown.
Yeah, it's just, and his stuff generally just fits together so well. Now I have had a couple instances where I had to have him go back and fix something, which he always does.
Yeah.
Which brings me to, and I won't mention the name, but a good friend of ours just got a kit that he paid for, and when I went to slice the head, there's a hollowed out area in there. And so he brought it to the sculptor's attention. The guy's like, yeah, I missed that, but no one else has complained about printing it. Okay. Which brings me to this. And I'm not going to go into a big 3D printing thing, but man, some of these guys send these files and they're just not, they don't understand that when you've got a hollow area inside like that you can't get to put a hole in or anything.
If you're printing solid, it's not a problem. Like if a lot of people are printing solid, they won't notice that. But if you're printing hollow, it's a huge problem.
Well, no, but it's a solid problem too, because it's a resin trap.
No, but
resin, but doesn't the resin eventually want out?
Well, but no, because it depends. It depends on the hollow area, really. Because if it's a hollow area there when it's solid, yes. If it's a hollow area that creates itself after you hollow it before you print it, that's a different.
Yeah, no, this is a hollow when it's solid.
Okay. Yeah, then that's a huge problem.
And so we're going to have somebody fix that for us, hopefully.
Cool.
I talked to our good friend, Hobby Mike.
Next up, Snoopy. This is
must
not the
be
Snoopy
another Kidette one. I do not know this character, but again, beautiful.
Yeah. And then
this guy's work is just.
Do you know this?
The next one is the Impossibles car. I never watched the Impossibles, but I did know that this was their car as soon as he started showing it.
It looks like a wiener.
And it looks like a what?
It looks like a wiener.
Okay. I'm going to tell you something right now. If yours looks like that, you should probably get to a doctor soon. Okay. And it might be too late.
But this thing this is one of those, like, if I had this, I would never paint it. Because it makes me want to just, like, go crazy with that gold super glossy finish. I never would get that right. Or I'd scuff it or drop it. But, man, it's such a cool piece. And here's another part breakdown of all the pieces you get with it. And again, engineered so very well that I'm sure it goes together like a dream. It's one of those things like painting cars just doesn't work in my brain. But man, is it cool. You can even light this. If you wanted to light those, I'll bet you could figure out a way to light those.
Yeah, now I do know that he's got a windshield in here, and that could get tricky, but not impossible.
Yeah, no. So, very cool stuff this week. That's all we got. It was short. It seems really like I didn't notice a lot. And I feel like we were just here doing this. And then with the short month, we're going to be doing this real quick again. So, if you need anything for us to spotlight, send it in with the sculptor's name and other info. And we'll have it on the next episode. But I don't think it'll be kind of hard with the short break in between. The workbench, Scott.
I got nothing. As a matter of fact, I haven't even printed in a week just because it's been crazy. But
I've printed a few things for a client who watches. I've done Sadiq is the guy's name, the sculptor. Is that? I printed a Tom Cruise. I printed a Sam Elliott, which turned out really well. And I printed a Viking and I printed a Native American. And they're beautiful figures.
That Native American is beautiful.
Man, I'll throw a quick picture. But I was sad to let all of them go. So, but they turned out really well. I did get
this. Now, have you got one of these yet? Hold on.
No. What's that?
Z series #1 knife. So apparently they don't sell regular X-Actos now. Okay, you got to buy these Z series knives.
Why?
Sharpest, most durable blade ever. So, a little story here. You always talk about how you have things. I've had the same X-Acto knife buzzing around here for forever, and it's defected. It's left me. I don't know where it is. I don't know.
It ran away. It was like, I'm done with you.
And it's like, I use the X-Acto all the time. Like when I'm shipping stuff and cutting tape and labels and everything, it's the X-Acto knife because I hate these things. Okay, I hate these things. Right. So I'm always using the X-Acto knife, and I looked everywhere. I can't find my X-Acto knife, so bought a new one. It takes the standard blade. What is this? The #1 blade comes in this.
Mm-hmm.
So. What I always like about these, if you have these, is you can just you throw the old ones right in here, and
What?
You never saw these?
No, I have one of those. What are you talking about? Throw the old ones in there.
Okay, so see this slot that's right here?
Yeah.
That's where you put your old dull blades, so you don't.
Oh wait, move it up. It's not in the camera.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. I just throw them in the garbage.
I'm gonna look. It even says on there, Jason, and let me see if it's
read.
Well,
who reads?
Used blades.
I've been using this Leatherman I got. I like this thing.
So anyway, yes, I got a new X-Acto knife, and now as soon as I open this thing,
you still haven't answered my question. What makes it a Z series? What?
I guess it's a.
What's special about it?
More durable blade, sharpest, most durable blade ever. Huh. It's zirconium nitride coated.
That's got to be fake made up stuff.
I have to get our boy Lawrence on that. He knows everything about that shit. He'll be able to tell me.
This is a knife.
You change the blade. Yeah, and this is how you cut your finger. You ever cut your finger changing the blade?
No, not changing a blade. Did I ever tell the story how I passed out in college from an X-Acto knife?
I think you did.
Did I? I had to, right?
Yeah, I think you did.
I got stabbed right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you saw the blood, you fainted?
Yeah, and then the kids were kicking me because they thought I was faking. The ground.
Get a wuss.
So, I still don't, whatever. Is it just a rebranding thing for rebranding's sake, you think?
I mean, they might have upgraded the blades. Now you got the gold grip here. I don't know if you saw it. You got the...
Ooh, gold. Oh. My workbench, I have been painting miniatures. I have been working on my Blood Bowl stuff still. I've been working on my Snake Eyes still, which is going very slowly. But
that's what that is.
Snake Eyes.
Okay. Well, because I'm looking at.
What? What are you looking at?
Let me help you show this. Look at how you put it on the slideshow.
Oh, snake, yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's my dyslexia. It's just my typing.
Fucking snake, yes. Fucking moron.
Dude, maybe I am fucking.
It's too late to care.
I just forgot the E. All right. Anyway, so I've been painting that, working on that. Talk a little bit more about that on a model and movie, I think. I've been printing, like I said. I have a hobby tip, and I want to talk about what I'm working on for Worthling for Pestilence Labs. I am working on his Wink that's coming out from Hellboy. Working on his Wink. His Winky? His Wink.
I hope Shannon don't find out.
I'm working. Hey, that's a nice wink. So I'm working on his Wink, and I got the hands done. So we had a problem with the hand that we had where when it was sculpted. Here's the two hands. So you can get this is one of the hands for Wink. This is the small version because he's doing a small and a big. You'll have the option. And then there's the big hand. That's a pretty big hand. The big hand printed fine. You know what? I'm going to pull
Turn on the overhead.
Yeah.
Go to the overhead.
There's this hollow area back here. We're trying to figure out how we want to, if we're going to do this or I keep it solid like we did with this one. But if anyone can see, one of the engineering problems, not a problem, is because it looked really cool when it was done, but the only attachment point for these fingers was sitting right on this little gear. And so I was like, Mark, the only way for this to work is if you kind of attach the fingers to the back of the hand. And I'll show you again in a second. So it was resculpted by Joe Simon. He went back and he's working on, and he connected the finger to the back of the hand instead of just being balanced by that gear and having that gap. So it fixed that problem. So now we're just waiting for, let me go back to just us. We're waiting for Mr. Worley is working on it, and he's going to send me the kits and I need to print these shrunk down a little bit because of the casting shrinkage. So I have a question for you as a caster. From master to casting, how much loss is there in size on average, you think?
That's a good question because I've never really...
Because, I've
never really measured it. You know,
because I know I'm going to have to test fit it when I get in there because, when you're going the slicer and you can just mess with the percentages, I'm wondering how much I'm going to have to drop it down to make it fit onto the casting.
And this is just a ballpark thing that happened to me. I cast a nameplate for someone one time. So I molded it, just glued it down on a flat piece, poured rubber on it, whatever, poured it and compared the two. It was just a little nameplate. There's about a 16th of an inch difference in just a little nameplate in the one that I cast from the original one. So there is some of it. I don't know what goes into it and how much and all that.
Yeah.
What I would do if I were you, hold that up again. So if Bradley sends you the piece, rather than try to print the whole hand, I'd put it in a slicer, cut the fingers off, and then play with it until you get it right.
That is a great idea.
Okay, and then
look at that. Scott Johansson had a great idea. Let me write
first of all,
down.
you do it quicker. Okay, and then once you get a percentage you like, then you slice the whole hand.
Instead of printing the whole thing. That is this is why you make the big bucks over at Ford.
I realize that I'm the sex object in this show. Okay, but I'm more than just a pretty face. All right.
A lot more.
That's right. Yeah. You just ask my female fans out there, Virginia and Shanna and
Jamie too. She loves you.
Jamie does love me. That's because I argue with you, and she likes because she's tired of arguing with you.
You don't know how right you are right now.
Well, I do.
There's a big argument.
Why did you bring a puppy home?
No, I'm.
All right.
Didn't go to the doctor.
Oh, we're still playing that game. Okay.
Yeah. My last thing is I started. If you can see back there underneath the on air the on air sign.
Mhm.
I have a bunch of Warhammer boxes of miniatures, and I'm like, I need to start getting through these boxes of sprues and just start building stuff again. So I want people to kind of see when you buy a Warhammer starter set. This is half of the box contents in terms of miniatures. So, and each one is snipping, cutting, gluing. And so that's why this stack of gray plastic tends to build up really fast. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues of, I don't know, like tons of stuff to cut out and glue together.
Are those styrene?
Yeah, they're plastic,
Okay.
all plastic. Everything's plastic. That's what I'm working on. And the reason I'm also bringing it up is I got it 2 episodes ago. Brian brought up the sprue holder that kind of flips open, and you can it's labeled like A, B, C, D, and you can slot. I can't bring it over here because things are slotted in to hold your sprues, so you can kind of keep them organized as you're stuff.
Hmm.
The only problem is with these sprues. I don't know if you can see it, but they come with these little nubs, like right there, on there, so they won't fit into the sprue holder. You have to go and snip off all these little pore nubs, and then they'll fit into the sprue holder.
They're not pore nubs, they're injection nubs.
Injection nubs. Injection nubs. I don't think that's what they're called either.
Well, it's not a fucking resin kit, so it's not a pore nub. I can tell you that.
All right. Our guest this episode.
Let's get our guest. Let's get some sanity on.
Our guest this episode is Vlad Petnicki. Vlad, you've seen him around the clubhouse for a long time, very long time. He's a builder. He's a kit basher. Enjoys just building things. And we haven't done a modeler spotlight in a while, so I figured let's bring Vlad on, and he volunteered. It's like, hey, great idea. Come on, show us your collection, show us what you've been working on. And one of his spotlight pieces that he wanted to show us was his new Kong build. And you know what? Who better than to put a Kong build up against than Mr. Johansson, Mr. Picky King Kong?
First of all, we'll start out by saying it is a 33 Kong.
Right? Yes, it is.
Okay. And I just so those of you that notice, I let him get away with calling the Toho gorilla Kong. And the only reason being is I don't think they ever took it seriously when they called it Kong. All right. So,
it was Kong. What are you talking about?
No, it wasn't Kong. It wasn't Kong. It wasn't Kong, but I let him get away with I let the Tohos get away with it. But I'm drawing the line.
That sounds racist. That sounds racist. I let the Tohos. That sounds like a derogatory term for Japanese people that I think you just invented. Like that sounds.
Tohos. Yeah.
Oh no.
That's right. Yeah. After Pearl Harbor, we went after them Tohos. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Someone go on Urban Dictionary after watching this and enter
Put
that.
it on here. Tohos. Yeah. Tohos. You know what,
Anyway.
too? It could be a prostitute with a foot fetish. Tohos.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. All right. I'm Vlad. I'm sorry for your intro. Here we go.
But anyway, I let him call that King Kong. But
all right, we are back with Vlad Petnicki. We're going to do a little modeler spotlight. Thanks for joining us, Vlad. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. And first off, before we get started, I'd like to say how do you do to Scott. I guess, Scott, this is our first face-to-face meeting, so to speak, vicariously. And this is on the level. I'd like to say it's good to see you healthy and back in the saddle as one of the co-hosts of MCTV.
Oh, this is going to go straight to his head. Oh, man.
Now, if I just get serious for 1 second, I heard with some trepidation, Scott, recently, you saying that King Kong is your favorite modeling topic. And let's call the elephant in the room for what it is. That's probably the reason I'm here tonight is because of this King Kong bash that I just completed this past week. So I expect you, Scott, to be, honest and give you a review straight from the heart. I know you can be a hard guy, but I want you to remember one thing. We're both about the same age, and we're both clean-shaven brothers in the unending struggle against the bearded house savers.
With military haircuts. With military haircuts.
Okay. Except Scott's never been close to the military.
That too.
Yeah. No, I have not been close to the military. They would have kicked me out, I'm quite sure.
A long time ago. Oh, man. So where do we begin? All right. What part of the country are you in?
In God's country, San Antonio, Texas.
That. Are you
We got back.
Okay.
I was stationed here with the Air Force back in the 90s for about 8 years, and then I got exiled to the left coast. But 2 years ago, we made it back, and every day's been like a holiday.
What did you do in the Air Force? Can you say?
I was a JAG. I was also.
I'm a JAG.
Yeah, you are a JAG, but not that kind of JAG. That's for sure.
I was also a military translator because I'm originally from the former Yugoslavia. And so when we got involved with Bosnia, me being a top #1 speaker of the language at that time in uniform, my number came up real fast. So
oh, wow.
I did some interesting things. I was a liaison officer at the Dayton Peace Talks, and I was a commanding American general's interpreter in Bosnia for all of 1996. That's a lot more interesting than the JAG stuff that I did when I was.
Wow, I kind of feel like totally inadequate at this point.
Well, that's okay. Man. So you'll grow up someday.
Yeah, one day I will. I'll edit this out if we have to.
Pig Latin.
Actually, I don't. I don't know how to do that. Scott's gonna roll his eyes. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Vlad? UFOs? No UFOs?
That all depends on how you define UFO.
Okay.
We'll leave it there.
Spaceships or unidentified objects. Okay.
Unidentified flying objects.
Okay. Could they have come out of the ocean?
I was watching a History Guy program last night on YouTube while I was working, and he was talking about the history of the weather balloons. The Air Force had so many top secret weather balloon projects in the 50s and 60s they couldn't talk about. So every time one of these damn things got popped as a UFO, they basically said, "Oh, we don't know. We didn't see anything," because they couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. You
know where that led.
True. San Antonio, Texas. The only connection I have to San Antonio, and you're not even going to understand what I'm talking about, is there's a band called the Dead Milkmen.
I've vaguely heard of it, probably from your Facebook page.
So, but in one of those songs, there's a song called Taco Land, and it's about a place that used to be, I think, in San Antonio, Texas. And that's all I know about San Antonio. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
No idea. Your pleasure is mine.
So, how did you get into modeling? In the Air Force, were you did you start building airplanes, jets? Like, how did you start?
I was always drawing as a kid. I used to draw cartoons as an elementary school student back in Yugoslavia, before I even came to the States. As soon as I could pick up a pen or a pencil, I was drawing. And Jason knows that he talked me into putting some of my old law school and college era cartoons that I did almost 40 years ago onto the clubhouse last year, which was, I wanted to thank you for doing that.
They were great to see too. They were really cool to see.
It was like a trip down memory lane, both for me and my buddy John, who wrote most of the scripts that I drew, to dig those things out and scan them. So I came to the States in 1972 when I was 11, and one of the first memories I remember is going down to the coffee shop in Queens, New York, and behind the hamburger stand and newspapers, there was a big shelf of Aurora, dinosaur, and monster model kits. And I built up many of those, back then. Built some ships, some planes, did a lot of cartoons. But by the time I went to college, all I was doing is just drawing some cartoons. And then after law school was over, and certainly once I went into the Air Force, I didn't do anything in terms of the art hobby other than draw the occasional, cartoon on a Christmas card or something. And I got back into the hobby after I got out of the service when I was about 40. Let's say that I was in a rough patch, my personal life, which we all go through if we live long enough.
Yeah.
And reconnecting with
get a dog and don't tell your wife.
Reconnecting with my modeling hobby it both kept me sane, and it just gave me a sense of creating something. And I found the clubhouse almost 20 years ago. And at that point, I was just mostly building dinosaurs that I could find on eBay, like the old Horizon models, because I always loved dinosaurs. And I remember early on the clubhouse, what a great place it was. Before Facebook gutted us, it stole my membership. I remember a fella sending me a message and saying, "Hey, I've seen some of the dinosaurs you've done. I've got a few dinosaur kits in my garage. Let me send them to you." And so I gave him my address, and a week later, I get this box this big. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And I open it, and inside were about 9 or 10 unbuilt Kyoto Dino Land 120 scale dinosaur kits. Now, I can't figure out who that fellow was anymore because those old messages are gone from the clubhouse. But if he's watching, thank you once again, because that really is what got me started and got me interested in kit bashing, because that's basically what I am. There's very, very few straight builds that I do. I've kit bashed just about everything I put my hands on, whether it's literally just taking 2 or 3 or 4 different dinosaur models of toys, cutting them up and figuring out with wires and putty how to create something else, or what I did with this Kong, which I'd like to talk about when I show it to you in a little bit. So mostly my subjects have been dinosaurs, Harryhausen critters, because stop motion animation is just absolutely mesmerized me when I was a kid in the 60s and the 70s. And I've done some figures, a few kit bash figures, and a couple of straight builds just for friends ages ago, like the Clint Eastwood Josie Wales sculpt, the resin sculpt. I can't remember now who did it. So that's basically, in the hobbying world of what do you call those, busts and figure kits, I've got an even smaller niche.
That's true. When you started, when you first found the clubhouse, where were you living then?
Well, I was living in a place, the name of which I once swore wouldn't pass my lips again, but it's a former governor who you may know, who had made it big in Hollywood, used to pronounce it California.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. So out there, was there a modeling community, like other people you knew that built models, or was it like you were like flying solo? No, didn't know anybody.
I was pretty much flying solo, other than all the folks that I was meeting online. I did meet with a couple of guys to exchange kits, and there's only one model show I ever went to. It was an IPMS regional meeting in Northern California, about the time when I was working on building my big 4-foot Nichimo Yamato model, which is the only ship that I built in 50 years. But it's under a nice glass case in our old family summer home back in Croatia in the old country. So this IPMS event in 2 days is going to be the second event that I'm going to. So I'm going to be helping my pal Bill Jones. Bill's going to he got a vendor's table, and he says he's going to try to sell off a part of his stash. So I'm going to help him do that, and I'm going to try to see if I can dig up a couple of kits that I know that I'll never build. Now, how interesting they're going to be to the IPMSers, that remains to be seen.
What was the name of the show again, for people that are watching?
It's Model Fiesta 41, the Alamo Squadron IPMS Model Fiesta 41.
That's a great name.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a...
We should have named this show that Model Fiesta.
Model Fiesta, yeah.
Model Fiesta.
It goes off so much better.
With a Jason Walker pinata behind me that I could take a swing at every episode.
As the San Antonio Fiesta is a big yearly event, so cool. Hence the name.
Cool.
I'd like to ask you about this drawing thing.
Yeah.
Because
did you see any of those when I posted them?
I think I did, but it was a while back, so I don't know if I'm recalling that completely. But so let me ask you this. This is just an off the cuff question. So are you a doodler still? Like, if you're sitting at a table and there's a pencil and paper and you're listening to someone talk, are you drawing? Are you goofing around? Or
if I'm not typing on my computer, and if I'm sitting and somebody's talking to me, I'm bored. I'm just going to start drawing.
Yeah. So, well, I asked that because I do the same thing. Okay, and like I'll get the new calendar month out, right? So it'll be perfectly clean, and then I'll write notes on it. Okay, but then I'll draw pictures of like Jason and stuff on here that he never sees, But
no, I got to see these.
But I had a gal I dated one time that used to get mad at me over that and told me that's a sign of an idle mind. And I'm like, well, I beg to differ. I think it's the total opposite.
I think so too. It's the opposite.
I think so too. I think those of us who are creative tend to have our minds going sometimes in many different directions at the same time. And that's just one outlet. And it's funny you mentioned that, Scott, because it was your comment about those comics you drew that made me mention my comics to Jason. And he said, oh, you got to post them. So I scanned them. And they started the same way. I was in law school and I was drawing a caricature of this late Professor Irv Gordon. He looked like a grandfather. So I drew a caricature of him. And then I drew a caricature of Charles Bronson. And my buddy John is looking and, he's laughing. He says, you ought to do something with that. So I said, oh, okay, we'll for this weekly student newspaper, we'll just make this fake ad of an upcoming constitutional law debate between Professor Irv Gordon and Professor Charles Bronson visiting from Golan Globus legal clinic or something. And that's how the whole thing got started. We did one, and the people who did the paper said, oh, this is great. Can you do it every week? So we did it, but we did it under assumed names because the main target of our comics were the faculty members who I caricatured. And then we had visiting law school professors like Professor Bronson, Professor Eastwood, Professor Chuck Norris. And while there was no violence committed on the faculty, the actual faculty members, they were always put in a position where they were being implicitly threatened by the new arrivals.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, see, mine was high school.
It was a stressful time. What can I tell you?
Mine was high school, and of course, mine got confiscated by the teacher that I was making fun of. So, needless to say, I don't think I passed that class.
Scott's got some good high school stories.
I wouldn't have passed law school if they could have connected my name to those stories.
That's great.
That's great, though.
Where are you at now with modeling? What do you like? You're still doing dinosaurs a lot. You're still doing Collie. We're talking about all that kind of stuff. Do you do you still frequent the clubhouse? Let's talk about the clubhouse a little bit.
I'm on the clubhouse. I'm on the clubhouse every single day. I like to say that I've been a part-time model the last 20 years, meaning that there've been some years that I haven't done anything because my life's been too busy or work's been too busy or I was working on a different hobby. But since we moved back to Texas, I've positioned my stash. I got the dream workshop here that I always wanted. And when I'm not working, it's slowed down a little bit the last 3 months to let me do that Kong thing. I've got lots of things on my plate. Lots of dinosaurs, lots of Joe Laudati's Harryhausen kits. Like some of my earlier bashes were taking his busts of the Rhedosaurus and the dragon and finding vinyl bodies and then putting it together to make my own Rhedosaurus, which you'll see on my own dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Rhedosaurus. It's not Raidosaurus.
He says Reed, you say Red, I said Raid. So what's
Raid sounds stupid. That's why. Okay.
Oh God, I stepped right into that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I knew it was coming too. This fucking guy.
Okay, Scott, how do you say? Scott,
I didn't have to throw the line into the water. The fish jumped right into the bucket for me. So
how do you say it, Scott?
I say Rhedosaurus.
All right, it's Rhedosaurus for me because I want a good review on my kit.
There you go. What do you think of that, beard boy?
I say Rhedosaurus too. I just say it fast. Anyway, we're not getting into this again.
Oh, yeah.
But the clubhouse, I'm going to put the web address up here because I don't think there's probably a new generation of 3D printer guys and other stuff that have no idea what the clubhouse is, that don't visit that have never been there. But the clubhouse, and it's theclubhouse1.net. Am I wrong? That's right. If I remember, typed it a million times. It's an old fashioned forum where you can post your pictures, old threads, things are organized real neatly. You don't have to look all over the place for stuff. So anyone who's new to this, go check out the clubhouse. There's some really cool stuff on there. There's a great model museum. There's helpful stuff. There's great people on there. They let Scott back in. So,
some of my most complicated kit bashes, like this one that I just finished, it probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for my starting a clubhouse build thread and then people chiming in. And with this one, there were at least 3 or 4 times, I posted, I said, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I can't figure out how to do this. And then people would just chime in and say, well, why don't you get this type of drill that'll drill through those, through that resin. And sure enough, it did. And then I was able to continue on going. So it's Facebook doesn't give you the ability to find things easily, and you can't have a thread where you're just updating what you're doing as you go along. It's, I call Facebook, which is a necessary evil to some degree, endless, the pages system is the endless scrolling.
Yeah.
Which drives me bats.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about it here too, how it's, it's taken the hobby and put, this group here. These guys like each other, so they're here. These guys like each other, so they're here. And, there was some silly stuff going on. They won't let you post pictures of this guy's kit and all that. And it's just,
this one guy's a ball sucktopia,
Yeah. One guy called Jason's got ball sucktopia.
I don't even know what that means.
That was.
And I hope you're watching. I don't understand what I did.
Look it up. Your picture's there. So, but I mean, so it's, I understand the need for separate Facebook things, but excuse me. But Jason and I have talked about it a lot. And it just seems like it's fragmented the hobby quite a bit.
You guys have a lot more experience with a hobby longer than I have, but yeah, that's my view. I mean, when the clubhouse was in its heyday and everybody was going to the clubhouse, you could find whatever you wanted, from styrene to bigger models to kaiju to dinosaurs or whatever. You knew where to find it. It was a different form, and you could just go through and look at all the threads and make all your comments.
Yeah, well, you could until they kicked you off for a couple of years. But
I
was the Pete Rose. I was the Pete Rose of the clubhouse. I just want you to know, of all the people that were banned for life, I had the most posts. Okay.
I didn't even know this. I didn't even know about this.
Oh, yeah. You're talking to a scofflaw, an outlaw here.
Yeah, I was an outlaw for a while, but I've changed my ways.
I heard that John Techie, if you rubbed him the wrong way, could hit that.
Oh yeah.
Band.
Let's just say that might be one of the reasons I get kicked off the clubhouse. And John and I were friends for a long time, and it didn't end well. And then, of course, he passed. And
I thought you were talking about him dying, not ending well. So
no, but it's it's unfortunate. I'd like to think that him and I could have ironed things out. But
I never knew him that well. He did cast his big hairy guy. He had his caster make one for me about 16 years ago, and I built it up. Of course, I kit bashed it, made it about 5 inches taller and changed the position of the arms. And I built it up finally and finished it, after his passing. So, but yeah, he was a character just from what little interaction I had, and also a treasure to the hobby.
Yeah, he was. So, I agree. And I'm one of the people he banned from his Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I agree with you. He was a treasure, like, to this. And there's a lot of stuff that would not be where it is today if it weren't for John. So he was a rough guy to get along with sometimes, but he did a lot of good things too. So it's,
one of my favorite things to do in the mid 2000s was to go to the Exo Factor website and see what kits he was bringing. At that time, I didn't have the money to buy these kits, but I loved watching the things that he would put up for sale on his website.
So let's get into it. Let's see you want to go take us on a tour? You want to talk about what do you want to take us through? So we want to kind of, we've done this a few times. Show us your collection. Show us what you got. Show us what you're working on, and go take us on a ride.
All righty. Well, this is nowhere near as big as Bill Jones's collection, but
Oh yeah, that guy.
I got to leave this here. So let me take a swig.
Yeah. Man, I never saw anybody put vodka in a blue bottle like that before.
All righty. Yeah. So you guys have seen the. This is the modeling studio.
Oh,
Okay.
you bastard! Wait, no. Now you got to go back already.
Oh, see, Scott. See, I knew Scott when I saw this yesterday. I knew Scott would be
Okay, let's
interested in
talk
the
about that
details.
Godzilla up there.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Is that the Kyoto twist one that like 18 inches tall?
this is the X. What is it called?
Oh, X plus or no, not X.
The X
Oh,
plus.
okay. All right.
Yeah, it's not his tail is detached. I've never put it back on, but
Okay.
I got it in on Yahoo Japan for a song because a couple of things are broken on it, which easy enough to fix. So up here, a couple of my dinosaur bashes. This T-Rex. This T-Rex is actually a combination of 3 different kits. And same thing with the Torosaurus. It's Sega Triceratops with the Kyoto vinyl Triceratops, and the horns were from beasts of the Mesozoic. So anyway, so those are.
I have that Sega Triceratops. I was gonna. It's in the garage though. I can't pull that.
Yeah, well, I got a few more of them because I stocked up so I could do the kit bashing.
That's fine.
Same with this. I still got 2 of these guys because this head goes with this Kyoto body. That's basically how this guy came to be. But anyway, the next thing,
Scott, doesn't it drive you crazy that he can be in his garage right now and it's clean, whereas here our garages look like salt factories.
Oh
it's
yeah,
cold, puddles everywhere. So
and I don't need a parka.
So
I don't need
nice.
It's February, and I don't need a parka.
I know, not fair.
So the next project is going to be this resin sauropod from Ademar Pera de Nascimento, is a Brazilian sculptor, and so I got this from him just before I started on the Kong thing. So I said, all right, this will be the next thing. It's about 32 inches.
Tell him
long.
what you were telling me about how the neck screws in.
Yeah, this is something that Ademar has patented because about 10 years ago, I built up his 130 scale Argentinosaurus, and that's when I first saw this system. So for his sauropod, for all of his dinosaurs, and this makes sense because this way he can ship them. He can ship them painted. I asked him not to paint mine because I want to paint it. Look what he does. He builds this screw thing into the body on one side, the neck and the tail, and then this is the neck. It screws in perfectly, and it fits perfectly. Same thing with the tail. So
I've never seen that before in a kit.
I haven't either, and I told him it's like one of the smartest things I've ever seen.
Well, no, because the engineering involved there is the cut has to be completely straight, or you couldn't do it.
Yeah. It is really it's really impressive, and his sculpting has over the last 10, 15 years has really improved, especially the detailing, the texture stamp detailing. So shall we go to the?
Oh wait, the battleship back there.
Oh well, this is.
Tell us about that because I'm sure someone's going to ask about it. So at least touch on that for a second.
I built a 1/200 scale Nichimo Yamato, which is about 4 feet. This is a 1/144 scale, and it's resin, and I don't know how long it is. 6.5 feet, I think.
Yeah.
I got this. This is embarrassing. I got it about 14 years ago, and when they were a store out in California was closing down, and they had one of these. And my intention, it was a little damaged. So my intention was to do it as a waterline display. So that's kind of what I've done. Okay. And that was in 2009. Now I also have put on the aftermarket turrets. All the other guns are off because I have aftermarket, much more detailed, all the anti-aircraft guns in here. And as I was telling I was telling Jason last night. I said I need to work up the courage to call the curator over at the Nimitz Museum, which is up the road here in Fredericksburg, and show him this thing and say, hey, if I build this, will you display it? And probably the reason I haven't called him yet is because I'm afraid he'll say yes. And then, the next year or two of my life will be dedicated to nothing but that. But I am going to get around to doing it.
So why the Yamato? Like, is there, because you built it before, is there something special about that ship?
Oh,
So you just like it, or?
Well, you had to ask.
I did.
He's an art teacher, not a history teacher. So
I want to know, but I know a little bit.
I'm a historian by interest and by training. And my father, among other things, was a history professor. And I found out about the Yamato when I saw a fella on the Clubhouse show his model, and this was about 17 years ago. And I texted him. I said, "Wow, is this the Bismarck?" He said, "No, this is the Yamato." And I'm looking at this thing that he built up. It was an Ichimo, like the one that I also built. And I was just mesmerized. I mean, I'd never seen a ship with this many guns on it. I mean, the anti-aircraft guns made it look like a porcupine.
Yeah.
And then I started reading the story of the Yamato. And the Yamato, the name Yamato is a poetic name for Japan itself, dating back to the Middle Ages. So the name has significance. It was the biggest battleship ever built, 18.1-inch guns, 70,000 tons, and utterly useless in World War II because of the aircraft carrier. So they kind of kept it out of most of the action because they were afraid of losing it. And finally, at the end, they threw them in to Lady Gulf, and Yamato's sister ship, Musashi, was sunk there. Yamato survived until it was the last operational battleship. And then when the defense of Okinawa was kicking off, the emperor was being briefed, and he turned to the Navy after the chief of the army had finished briefing the defense of Okinawa and the kamikaze plans and everything. He said, "Where's the Navy? Have we no more ships?" And so the naval chief of staff came up with the idea of sending the Yamato and about 8 destroyers and 1 cruiser, which was all they had left, on a one-way suicide mission to attack the U.S. fleet with no air cover. So naturally, predictably, halfway there, they were all sent to the bottom, except for, I think, 3 ships survived.
Yeah.
And but that story in Japan became well known as the story of the Alamo is in Texas. The story of the doomed warriors, carrying out their battle. And it's kind of seen as the death of Yamato was necessary so that the old Japan of, with the Bushido code and everything could die, so the new Japan could rise from it. And seen in that light, it has a very, I'm getting choked up just talking about it. It has a very, very emotional and poetic meaning for people in Japan from what I've read. And it's a fascinating story about how these sailors and officers, they knew they were going to their deaths, and they resolved to do their duty. And only about 264 of them came back. Over 3,000 men went down on Yamato alone, and another 1,000 on the other ships. So it's like a Japanese historian once said, once you read the story of Yamato, it becomes sort of an obsession. And I kind of I'm an enthusiastic fellow, and if I get excited about something, I follow it all the way through. So if you go to www.battleshipyamato.com, www.battleshipyamato.com, that's my history website that's dedicated to the history of the Yamato class and contains virtually every single surviving photo. Most of them combat photos that were taken by U.S. Navy planes as they were trying to sink them.
Well, we'll get that linked up. It'll be there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. See, I knew there was a story behind this. That's great.
You had to ask.
Yeah.
You had to ask. So we got some lights inside this dome. Okay. So probably can't see much there, except to see the little lights inside the dome. And now, light, camera, action.
I like those lights. Some of those lights. That's cool.
And that is 34-inch tall King Kong on the Empire State Building kit bash. And there he is.
So when you had this little alcove in your house, where you're like, I need to put a Kong model there, or was it just
Well,
it just happens to go there?
What was up here before? Let's see if I can get this above head shot. It's hard for me to see what I'm showing you. But anyway, I had the skeleton staircase up here, which is from the seventh voyage of Sinbad. Sinbad is battling the skeleton. That's what I had on here. But anyway, so this is a kit by Resonant Motion, Michael Maddy, who was also very helpful in answering questions as I was building it. But the kit is just this top and Kong. And so I added little manacles. I drilled these out and put in plexiglass windows. And then I had the idea, well, if I'm going to put in a life-size plane, and Bill Jones, he's the one who solved my engineering problem as to how to mount the plane. He said, well, why don't you just have the rod go out of his fist? Genius. But it took me 2 months. I couldn't figure it out, and Bill solved it like that for me. And then I said, well, if I put the plane there, it's not going to be balanced. So I need to build up an Empire State Building, or at least a part of the tower. So how do I do that? So I spent, 3-4 hours on the internet and finally figured out, okay, if I get a PVC pipe the right size, well, the first one was too wide, the second one was just right. And then I'm looking at it, I'm going, it's kind of plain. The Empire State Building has these lighted panels. Okay, I'll build some lighted panels. I'll use some Plastruct styrene rods, heat them and bend them, kind of make the frames, and I'll get some acrylic rectangles, and I'll paint them on the back with neon color, because that's pretty bright. But what I didn't know is you paint on neon, those neon paints on acrylic, it's completely see-through and like granular. Oh, okay. Every one of these took 20 coats, and it's very, it's like a millimeter thick paint, and it's all granular, right? But you turn it around, and you put it on the back, and it's like, holy cow. I didn't know what it was going to look like. But when I first finished, I said, this looks great. So it's one of those, and these winglets also, I almost lost the tip of my finger trying to figure out how to make these winglets. Finally, I figured out I'll just make them out of balsa wood. They won't be too fancy, but it'll work. And of course, Tim over in the clubhouse is the one who printed this very, 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 very nice King Kong plaque that I used for this. Oh, and the base.
That is nice. I'm gonna have to get one of those from him.
Yeah, and the base is a butcher block that I found. And great thing is, it's got 2 levels, so you kind of painted the 2 colors, and I'm very happy with it.
What's the what is the airplane model like?
It's not the exact plane that was in the movie, because I couldn't find that one. This is a P-12E, which is actually a slightly newer model. It's a 1930 single-seater U.S. Army aircraft. So I'm just gonna. So it's got a pilot. Tell me if this is a little tricky. Yeah, I don't know. Can you see him?
I'll put other pictures up too while we're talking, like kind of over my side.
So anyway, there is an overhead light, but it doesn't illuminate Kong properly. So yeah, so there it is.
I really like this.
I hope you like it, Scott.
No, I do. First of all, it's the only Kong. Okay, so I hope you're like me in that debacle from '76 and 2005 don't even count. Okay,
you're preaching to the choir.
All right.
2006, 2005 or 6 Kong, whatever it was, is the most disappointing movie theater experience I've ever gone through.
And I've said this before. I'm sure you've heard me. The last 10 minutes of the film were beautifully shot. Okay. Yeah. Other than her being 100 and some stories up in the air and not acting like she's 110 stories up in the air. Okay. Because, and hey, you are in the Air Force. You're up 110 stories without anything strapped on you. You're freaking out. I'm sorry. You're freaking out. But I feel your pain because obviously you have an attention to detail. So the fact that you couldn't find an F-8C Helldiver model probably just drove you insane. And I can tell you that there was only one ever made and it was by a Polish company. Was it Ardpol or Arpol? I don't know if you've heard of them or not. And they made a resin one. And for years, I had it saved on my eBay. For years, I got to buy this. I got to buy this because it's accurate. I could use it with like a geometric King Kong or something. For years, it was there. And then they dried up. And I find every other model this company's made, but that one. and like I said, so they were overseas. They were in Poland. So they weren't easy to come by to begin with.
And you weren't the only guy looking for one, probably.
Right?
No. And so I still haven't seen one. I've had my search out there for about 3 years. And
all righty. Well, shall we?
Real quick, I want the color choices on the lights. What is that? How the building looks? Like, are there lighted panels there on the Empire State Building in real life?
Well, they can light up any color they want. That's
right. I know, but that's how, like, because it's always been black and white, and so I never think it to look like if that thing lights up like that. So that's pretty cool that they.
Yeah. Well, if you just Google it, you'll come up with pictures of all kinds of different configurations. And I picked these 4 colors and I ran them by my wife. She says, "Yeah, they'll work." So, the other thing is, because these are neon colors, they're supposed to glow in the dark under a black light. I haven't gotten a black light flashlight yet. Tested.
And then the other lights with the remote lights that you have, how much were those? Those little spotlights.
Okay, so there's 4 of them here. They're powered by 3 AA batteries. These are just glued on. These are the ones on the ground. They just I didn't connect them. You can find them on Amazon if you don't need to have them shipped overnight, like I had. You can get a pair of them for about $25.
Okay, I'll check those out.
And it solved my problem here because there was no way I was going to leave this guy in the dark.
Yeah.
After all the work that I put on him.
You know what else I love that you did is painted them brown.
Oh yeah.
And so many people go with black because that's the color gorillas are, and I understand that, Yeah.
But it's not that interesting.
No, it's not. I always thought a brown Kong looked better. And
see, that's why you like Kong of Skull Island, because it's brown, right?
No, I don't like that either. Okay.
Well, you didn't mention that in your hate comments earlier, so that's how this works.
No, do you want me to hate on Kong versus? You want me to hate on Kong versus Godzilla?
No, you can hate on that all you want. I like Kong of Skull Island, though. I did not mind that movie.
Speaking of the devil,
there we go.
Now this is the original Drunk Kong. This is my kit bash, which inspired Steve Sergioli and Beto Matali to offer a customized pair of arms so modelers can do this. This is why they decided to do that, because I made this one.
That's awesome. Drunk Kong. I like that.
Well, this is I call this I don't know if you can see the octopus. He's got a guy in his arms, and he's got berry juice in the other arm. I call this Beach Party on Faro Island.
That's great.
And this is a custom Sinbad that you might recognize. You might recognize him.
A little Hulk Hogan, yeah. Hey, brother, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, he's still.
There's only one King Kong, and it's Bundy. Yeah.
He's still waiting for my Monsters in Motion collie to be completed, so I can pose him. Now here's another Kong bash that I did a few years ago with a Kyoto. Let's see if I can get this thing so you can see it. You see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a Kyoto action figure that I customized, and this is that ugly ass T-Rex that Monsters in Motion sells on their website. When I got this Kong figure, I'm like, hey, if I could put this thing on its side, it'll look just like the T-Rex being beaten on. So
be sure to look that up on the Monsters Motion website.
Google, search that ugly ass
T-Rex. Yeah,
and that's what it needed to be to make this work. That's not a criticism.
No.
Yeah. So let me try to move here so I'm not blocking the light. This is a tribute to the gentleman whose name escapes me. The special effects fellow. So this is a I can't think of his name. The most well-known Godzilla sculptor. The kid is just Mr. What's his name and Godzilla.
Sakai, isn't it? Isn't that Sakai?
Sakai, Yuji Sakai. Thank you. Yeah, this is my only Yuji Sakai resin, and so I had the idea to basically just build a little diorama. I had a little Kong, grew him by a couple of inches with putty, just so he'd be kind of close in size.
It's E.G. Tsuburaya.
Tsuburaya. Yeah, it's Mr. Tsuburaya. It's a
Sakai is the sculptor.
Yeah,
that's right. Thank you. And down here is
we all had a mutual stroke. I couldn't remember.
And down here is how well you can see it. This is another Harryhausen kit bash. Laudati Dragon head onto the X Plus Dragon body, customized. A couple of customized X Plus Cyclops, and then I don't know if you see.
Yeah.
You see
cool. Yep. And I have I have close-up pictures of this stuff. I'm going to kind of throw in here while we're doing it too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now here's another one. Now this one goes almost 20 years back, and this is of course the Emir in the forum. This is the X Plus Emir, and I built up the forum, and I kind of figured out how to make the pieces look like they're bouncing in air. There's basically a wire that you can't see that's sticking in there, and a couple of little figures that I customized. So I kind of like that. Kind of a simple, not very complicated, but an early example.
I think the Emir is my favorite Harryhausen creation. For whatever reason, I always like the Emir. So
I love that movie. And here is the skeleton staircase.
Oh, so that's what you said. Okay.
That used to be at that spot. But
yeah.
It's not as big. It's not as big, and it had to move. I don't know how well you can see it here, but
there we go. So
there we go.
While you're showing, do you enter contests? Are you like, because this kind of fits into what we were talking about last couple episodes. Do you paint for yourself, or do you paint for competition, or are you just out to have fun kind of thing?
Well, I don't. I do paint, but mostly I kit bash.
Right.
I paint. But the only model contest that I've ever entered until the one I'm going to enter in 2 days was the Clubhouse modeling contest of 2009. The only one the Clubhouse ever had, and this was my entry. The tribute to Mr. Tsuburaya was my entry, and I think it finished 9th or something.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned about contests that much.
And that's what I mean.
That's why I got kicked out, because I said you should have won, and they kicked me out for 2 years. That's why they kicked me out.
Okay.
And that's kind of why I asked that question, because you really seem like you're into just the joy of building and creating and let the chips fall where they may. I made something cool, and I think that's where everyone kind of should be with it.
Exactly. I put it this way: I create these things because I feel moved to do it.
Yeah.
Not for really any other reason. And I do have to say one thing about this Kong thing. I don't have any. I mean, it's going to be in a contest. I'm not expecting anything. But my only hope for this kit, which is it started coming together, and I said, "Holy cow, this is going to be a little better than I thought." My only hope for this kit was that when people see it for the first time, that their first words would be something along the lines of, "Holy shit!" So,
have you ever got to the point? Have you started building something, and about halfway through your kit bash, you're like, "Forget it," and throw it against the wall? This ain't working.
Yeah.
Does it happen a lot, or is it?
It used to happen quite a bit. Now I've gotten smart enough to recognize it and not to even go there. And if I don't really feel it, then I know it's time to go and do something else. Now I want to show you something that Bill Jones painted up for me.
I think in my younger days, I'm still a spring chicken. Like I would try to make these really big things and be like, and then it just never worked or didn't look right. And it was such a waste of money and time where I should have just been like compact a little more. And I wish I would have learned that earlier about building stuff for myself.
Well, I'm getting something ready here. This is one of my biggest kit bashes. This is a Paradise Godzilla. He's about 16, 17 inches. I mean, I straightened out his tail, I resculpted his head, and I opened up his arms, and that was almost 20 years ago. And then he sat primed and unpainted because I was just intimidated. When we got to Texas and Bill and I finally met in person, and I said, Bill, I want you to paint this for me, and he did. And it's as you can see,
Yeah,
he did a fantastic job. And then he surprised me by giving me this little add-on that you can see. Yeah, this
there we go.
little add-on, which is the death beam and blowing up a tank. So
That's great.
that's cool.
Your
And,
wife must be very understanding,
I was
because
just
if I tried to
gonna-
put that
I
in
have
my
the
house,
I have the most understanding wife in the world, don't I, honey? I don't know where she went. She
ran
just
away.
stepped out for a second.
She's like, forget, I'm out.
Well, this is basically the dinosaur collection. I built a few of these. Most of them are just figures. But this is the Spinosaurus that Bill painted up for me, that I kit bashed out of a couple of different resin kits, and I'm going to enter it into that contest in 2 days.
Cool.
Bill just did an incredible job painting this thing. You probably can't see it that well here because the light isn't too great, but this is my big hairy guy, John Tucky Toho Kong, customized.
Yeah. Jason is my big hairy guy. Just so
I
you know.
thought I was waiting for the Brian Clark joke. What? Come on. You go to me?
Oh, he's not here.
Yeah, so I gave him about 3 inches in height, so he'd be close to that Godzilla. And now this is the last thing that I wanted to show you. This is the first kit bash, I'd say, of the caliber of that Kong that I did almost 20 years ago. So this is a Laudati Rhedosaurus head.
Wait, can I guess? Can I guess? That
Go
almost
ahead.
looks like the Aurora Allosaurus body, kind of. Is it?
No.
Okay.
Think Sean Connery. Sean Connery voiced the character that gave the body.
Oh, the Dragonheart?
Oh,
Dragon?
yeah, Dragonheart
Yes.
Dragon.
Yes. That's the vinyl Dragonheart.
From
kit.
AMT, right? Or was it Erdl or AMT?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Man, that might have been monogrammed. into
Monogram? Yeah.
Then
I'll
I got
pull
the
up the
crazy.
picture.
I got the crazy idea of building this whole thing around a lighthouse. I had to cut a hole in there, drop this lighthouse, and watch what happens. Watch what happens when I turn on the light, or rather, when I plug her in.
Oh, wow, it even spins.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. That is so
Yeah,
cool.
So,
Was that, how'd you
so-
do that? Like, was that a lighthouse kit, or was it something you fabricated?
yeah, it's a lighthouse. There are companies that sell different lighthouses that are based on real lighthouses that
Yeah.
spin like this. You plug them into the wall. So I figured out this was the right size, bought one, cut a hole in the plaque, and then with putty and glue secured this thing, and built the Rhedosaurus. And there's a few small people on here.
So,
So-
Ravel monogram, by the way, Mr. Walker.
Okay. I knew it was something. It was Ravel. Okay.
So let me just turn
It came
over
out the
here
same
so my
time as
face
those
is-
Batman ones, right? Like around that time?
Yes.
So basically that's it. I don't want to keep you.
Oh no!
guys
What's your
longer.
next big project? You got anything in the thinker? What's cooking back there?
Well, my next big project is that big
That dinosaur,
Titan
right?
that I showed
Yeah.
you. But yeah, well, we're now in the master bath. This is the master bath. This is the
Oh, I thought that was a glass showcase. I was like, what's in the
look at this!
showcase?
He's got kids in the bathroom closet. Dude, seriously,
so
how is your wife
Oh,
okay with any
see-
of this?
look, Jason, Rhedosaurus.
Oh God, this guy.
And over here we've got look at that! It's an emir,
Oh,
a
nice.
geometric emir, and a lot of vinyl dinosaurs. There's
Oh, and I see the X Plus Cyclops too. Isn't that a
There he
nice
is.
kit?
Yeah, it's beautiful. This is the 67 Roto Kaiju Kong, 67 Mecha Kong, and an unbuilt 62 version of the Roto Kaiju Kong. I've got stuff here to keep me busy, and That was those are the vinyl kits. Now, if you go to the master closet,
Hold on, real quick.
there-
I have a question about a dinosaur kit that you sent, and I'll throw it up here.
Sure.
It's a T-Rex fighting a Triceratops. Is this the Horizon Darga T-Rex, the real
yes,
big one?
Yes, yes.
So I have that
That's
same
exactly
kit, and it's like, doesn't that thing suck? I see you have your metal rod in the exact same place I have mine to try and keep that
Yeah,
thing
funny.
from tipping over.
Funny you should say that. Oh, look at that.
You got it?
It's the unbuilt
Oh,
Triceratops.
look at that. Okay.
Right under it is another T-Rex. Will
Okay.
I ever build them again? Who knows? But
Yeah, that's one of those things
keeping
that's so big that I'm like, I don't know what to do with it anymore.
yeah. Well, I built them halfway. Like I built the front half and the back half of the body of each one.
Yeah.
Then I put them in a trunk, and then I took them over to Europe, and I finished building them at my
How did
parents'
that
old
go
summer
over well
house.
with? Like, what did they ask you at security? Were they, what is this?
This was like 2006. And this crate was, it was an old ship's crate that my father used to take on cross ocean journeys because he was a diplomat, and that's how they traveled back in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So it was clearly overweight and oversized, and it was going to cost me about $70 extra. But like the machine was broken down or something, and the guy said, "No, I'll just check it in. Don't worry about it." And so I built it up over there, and every few years, that leg starts sagging, and I try to figure out where to put another rod so that the T-Rex doesn't start going like this.
Yeah, I almost want to just sell it because I have nowhere to really put it anymore. And it's a great T-Rex. It's one of the best T-Rexes, I think.
It's
I just
it's
don't.
not 100%. Not 100% accurate for today, but it's still an awesome.
It is a very cool dinosaur, and I just wish it wasn't on one foot like that and made of vinyl. Like I wish it was just stiffer.
If I knew then what I know now, I would have put plaster in both.
I think I put plaster in mine and then filled it with spray foam, and it just never cured right. It took forever to cure. Anyway, sorry, more stuff.
So. I don't have Scott. I don't have a warehouse size stash. This is my resin stash up here.
Oh man.
I don't have much.
There's a few things up here.
Oh, what's in the Typhon box? I see a Typhon Studios box.
The Typhon is the Harryhausen's saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He just did a few years ago.
That was a nice kit because he sent us one to give away.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. It was really nice.
So that's it. We've probably gone.
No, we're good.
We've meandered a little bit. But,
I love meandering. I love the meander. It's all good.
All righty. Well, maybe we should finish in here because this is like the only room in the house besides the garage that actually has lights that I like.
I was looking at the photos.
Yeah.
And my thing just went wonky here, so give me a second.
His thing always goes wonky.
My computer went wonky.
Oh, your computer.
All right, I want to talk about the 4-foot Yamato.
Oh yes, the Nichibo Yamato.
In the glass case.
Yes.
So, did you build that here, or did you build that over there?
I started building it here, and then I put it in a box. None of the detailing or the superstructure was attached. I got that through customs. They opened it, but they didn't lose anything. And then over the course of a few summers, I used to go, when my mom was still able to go over there. I would go for 3 weeks every summer, and then I would just be building this ship. And I got a lot of resin aftermarket pieces that are more accurate so that, the complete build costs probably about, 3 or 4 times the cost of just the plastic Nichibo kit.
So do you wish it was here, or are you happy with it being there?
Oh no! It's perfect. It's perfect there. The summer house is on a little island, and that's where I built my first ship. I still have my old Titanic that I built about 1974.
Wait, you have a summer house on an island in Europe?
Well, it's a small family summer house my parents bought back in the '60s that I inherited. And so we go there. We go there every summer.
The Air Force has a good pension.
Yeah. They deserve it. They deserve it.
Well, first
right.
off, first off, I didn't retire. I didn't stay in that long. And there's a reason why I'm going to be working for a couple hours after we sign off tonight. Well, my wife tells me 5 more years before we can retire because she is the numbers person.
She runs the show. Okay.
Just salute smartly and move forward.
Gotcha.
So, I see your whole collection and, you show the stuff. And I didn't see you mentioned the Aurora stuff yet. I saw no Aurora stuff. No desire to go back to it, or?
It gives me a fond feeling to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's a part of my life that's past, and I can't recreate it by rebuilding it. So I would rather do stuff that's more accurate, shall we say.
So would you call yourself what they call a rivet counter when it comes to like the Yamato and stuff like,
rivet counter? Yeah. I try to make it as accurate as I could. Mm-hmm. But there's a couple of things I forgot to do, and it still bothers me when I look at it. But
that's how it comes with everything, though. I think everyone's like that with all their stuff. Like I'll always look back and go, I hate that part. And no one else will notice it, but you'll know. I think
we tend to be if we're serious modelers, we tend to be perfectionists to the extent that our skills allow.
I know a lot of military guys. They call them rivet counters because they're sticklers for the detail.
Oh yeah, they're going to be. I'm sure they're going to be picking apart that plane on that kit when they're judging it in 2 days.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
I just want to see people look at it.
Yeah.
And just that's a lot of fun. I don't care about the contest. I want to spend the day with Bill and talk models and.
You want to spend a whole day with Bill?
Tell Bill we love him and send him our regards. We do love
Bill. We had a lot of fun with Bill. Twice.
No,
Bill was on the show twice.
Once only. It's the only time people saw it.
Yeah, because somebody forgot to hit the audio record part of it. And he calls me up after we do the whole show. And he's like, well, guess what? Yeah, you idiot.
Well, any more questions, Scott?
No, that's it. I just... Okay. I saw that in the slideshow that you put up, and I was really impressed. I always get impressed when people do big stuff like that, whether it's military or sci-fi or, and when I say that, hardware, I'm going to say hardware. Big monsters, I'm impressed, but they're a dime a dozen, okay? But when you see the work that goes into something like that, or a big Enterprise or a Millennium Falcon or something like that. And some of the work we've seen at Wonderfest where you look into the cockpit and it's lit, all the panels and shit. And I'm like, that just to me is just wow. That's the stuff I look at and I go, well, that's modeling. I
don't do much of that, but because the story of that ship kind of grabbed me, I pursued it because I wanted to build it. So, when we push ourselves, we can often find that we have talents maybe in some areas that we didn't think we had.
Right. So, well, I always say too, when I see built-ups, when I see sculpts, you can tell when the sculptor, when the painter, when the builder, whatever, is really into the project because it really shows, and not that the final product isn't always good, but sometimes you just look at it and you see just that extra. And
there's a difference between doing something because you're just getting paid to do it and doing something because you have to do it. In terms of it grabbed you and it won't let go until you create it.
Right. Well, and you mentioned Tucky. He had that Phantom of the Opera with Christine unmasking him.
Yeah.
And the dress,
I've seen that one.
The dress on the Christine is just, to me, one of the most beautiful things Jeff Yeager's ever sculpted. Okay. And I just look at that and go, he must have just really been into sculpting that because it's fantastic. It is just fantastic. And not that Jeff doesn't do good work, but sometimes I see some of Jeff's stuff and I go, man, that one he must have really been into doing because it's, and I've seen it with other sculptors too. I'm not picking on Jeff because he might watch and beat me up, but it's, like I said, and I've seen it with builders too, man. Guys that just, They decide they really like something and they put their all into it, and that's cool. So
Yeah, I think that's why we do. That's why we do what we do.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, we greatly appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for sharing everything with us. Keep sending us
pleasure.
pictures. Keep us updated. If you want to come back on and show us more stuff, next build.
I got to get on my horse and then churn out some new stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Vlad.
I keep seeing that shower in the background. I remember the David Letterman episode where he had Terry Garr get in the shower. So I want to say, hey, Bill, can we get you to take a shower? Because that's what Letterman did to Terry Garr for like 20 minutes, and she finally got in it. So and there's actually YouTube video of that. So look that up. That's
I think
funny.
I remember that. I think I do. All right, man. We'll see you around. Thank you so much for joining
Vlad,
us.
take care. Thank
Vlad.
you very much.
Pleasure.
Bye.
All right.
Pleasure talking with you guys. Take
All
care.
right, hang on. Thank you, Vlad. That was awesome.
That was
cool
awesome.
interview.
The
I loved
Yamato story. The Yamato story
Yeah.
was really interesting. Put that website up for sure.
it. Down there.
And yeah. Wonder
Down
how many
below.
Tohos died on that one.
Now I'm gonna have to start bleeping it.
You're the one that made it dirty.
Yeah, but I.
Okay.
Oh my
All right.
God.
No, Vlad, thanks. You're a really interesting guy, really nice guy,
Yes, a nice guy.
super nice guy.
Air Force.
And after the episode, we did get to meet his wife, and she seems like a really nice lady too. Obviously, she puts up with all that stuff around the
Dude,
house. So,
they have a
that's
bathroom
awesome.
closet filled with model kits. How is anyone
Yeah.
getting away with that? I don't even understand.
Yeah, where do you put the towels? Who cares? Dry off? Why?
They're in with the Typhon box. They're right there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Meantime,
So thank you, bud.
Can you imagine the accident that could go on if you were sitting on the can trimming a vinyl piece and you dropped the freaking X-Acto knife?
I've heard that story before. Someone we know.
Kaylin was on the can.
It was Kalen. That's what it
Yeah.
was. It was Mark Kalen. Yep. Yep.
Oh.
So thank you, Vlad. All right. Emails. We already did one of our emails, voicemails, and corrections. If, again, you want to get a hold of us, the email is modelclubtv@gmail.com. Send us an email. Send us hate mail. Send us love letters to me. And then the voicemail. I'm working the buttons, man. I'm working them. 708-816-4299. Leave us a voicemail. 30 seconds or less. Get to the point. It makes it so much better. And here we go.
Yeah, CG gets an exception because he starts most of his voicemails out with, yeah, this is CG Blade. 25 seconds is gone. Okay,
That's true.
so he can go a little sooner.
I could
you
start
can go a little
editing. Yeah, well, no, if you edit it out, it's not as good. All right, so
Uh-oh.
Chuck Homolka sent us an email, and it was pretty shocking, actually. And it made me really mad at myself.
Did you take it out on yourself?
I did. A lot.
I'm on a roll tonight.
For
I
a
feel
long
good.
time.
Okay,
Um,
whack your Toho. All right, anyway, go.
see, now whacking a Toho could be like it could be like 5 things.
All right, what did Chuck send you? This is why I'm way more fun than that fucking statue you had on for 2
All right.
episodes.
All right. Okay. All right, I'm back. From Chuck Homolka. Hey, this is not our type of modeling, but any model event that has been around this long and is canceled forever is a great loss. I was like, what? What is he talking about? The Chicago Toy Soldier Show has been canceled. Done. Over with. So I went to the website, and I'll put some pictures up here. They had a problem with the hotel. The hotel that with their contract, they had a disagreement on some of the things that in the past they had agreed to, and it looked like they weren't accommodating them in the future and charging them more money. And so instead of trying to find a new hotel and move it, it's over with. So, and it takes place every October, I think, up here in Chicago. And I'm mad at myself because every year I say, I'm going to go to that show, and I end up not going to that show. And now I'm never going to go
there's
to
a
that
no-show.
Now there's a no-show. So the Chicago Toy Soldier Show has been canceled. for people who have gone to that show, maybe in the comments down below, let us know like what your thoughts are on this. It's anytime to see it. Like Chuck said, anytime you see a model show like this go away, that's sad. And this one has been going on a long time. And some really great work was happening at that
Chuck.
show.
I believe it was Chuck. Sent me a message. I don't know if he sent you the message too. About the 3D printing in color.
Yeah, he did.
And that's just, it's probably years down the line before we're going to see it, but it's coming.
So I was going to put that in here as well. He sent, it was a Facebook. We'll get to the toy show done. I just really, it bothers me that that's gone. And I feel really like mad at myself for not going. The 3D printing in color. And it's not just like filament printing in color when we're talking about this. And I'll put a picture up. It looks like the real thing in color. Like it's crazy. So the way it works is almost like filament printing. And it's this machine that kind of runs back and forth. Did you watch any of the video?
I didn't watch it all, but I did watch some of it.
And it's almost like they were a printing company, like two-dimensional printing company. And the way they had their machines work, they figured out it was building. They figured, like when I was watching the interview with the guy, they were building up like slight like a layer to it. And they're like, hey, what if we tried to do this more and push this technology into a more 3D printing well? So it's almost like an inkjet printer that 3D prints at the same time. And you get things that look almost like photographs of this stuff. And you're like, well, crazy. There goes your painting models. But I think the craft of painting models will always be there. And
just like the craft of sculpting something in clay will always be there.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the show.
Really? No voicemails? No corrections?
No. Wait, did we have a correction?
Yeah, it's a Rhedosaurus, not Rhedosaurus. Or Rhedosaurus, Vlad. Anyway.
All right, everybody. That's the show. Scott, we'll see you soon. Because February is a short month. Ugh.
I just ripped ass.
Goodbye. Done.